It's been a while since I have posted a video. Hate that I just did that. Howdy, and welcome back to Words with the world's leading film and television critic, Roger Ebert. To those of you who are joining us for the first time, you may be surprised to see Roger's soul in such a young and stunningly beautiful female form, and to that I say, you simply were never paying attention.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
I know that you are glad to see me, who wouldn't be, but I am also very glad to see you today, on this day, whatever day that may be. Who knows? Could be New Year's of next year. I hope not, because this film will not have any relevance at that point in time. So hopefully I get it out before then. I am glad to be with you here today because I come with a message. That's right, I said a message. The very thing that got Jesus killed. Sorry, I'm kidding. We're just JKing, my dude. Don't you worry about it. So what's your holy message, Autumn? Let me tell you, my dudes. With the Golden Globes having just happened a couple weeks ago, and Oscar noms just being announced last week, and then the actual ceremony happening in a couple weeks, I have noticed a glaring exclusion from all of this awards talk. I would go so far to say that I have found the best film of 2022, and I am heartbroken to see it not only get overlooked in awards discussions, but also just in the mind of the general public. I've not seen a single person talking about this movie except for one random person that I follow on Twitter. That's it. So I'm here to remedy this terrible curse of anonymity for this film that has rooted itself deep down in my big, beautiful, gracious heart, and hopefully inspire a couple more people.
Prolonged eye contact.
That would be you guys, to go out there and watch this movie, you know, and get it on other people's radar. Tell other people about it. Tell the world about it. Then we will all sit in loving unity in praise of this film. That'll be the new world order. Enticing, I'm just saying, it's got potential. I was inspired to make this video in large part for my little brother Brett, because we used to go see movies all the time and talk about them back home, and I've missed that. So Brett, this is for you. If you are one of the many people out on the planet who are not Brett, A, congrats on not being a freaking loser. Just kidding. B, I hope you still stick around because this is for you as well. It's for anybody. And, you know, I hope you enjoy this impromptu little conversation that we're going to have. In respect for Brett, since this video is for him, I will refrain from mentioning a certain blood-sucking television show that we have all come to love and cherish and hold very dear to our hearts, because I do actually want him to watch this entire video. Stop that. Could you not? Did I catch it? No, I didn't. Go away! Oh. Hater. Trying to ruin my video. Brett, I hope you appreciate the strength that this is going to require of me, considering that it's 98% of my brain matter now. It's going to be so hard. Oh! I won't. I don't even know what show we're talking about. What show? I only know this movie that I'm about to talk to you about. And as I said, I'm on a holy crusade here, okay? This is going to be serious. So put your big girl panties on and let's freaking go. Let's get into some film analysis, bitches. So, all that being said, warnings, finito, prologues, concluded, the most underrated film of 2022 is a French film. Stop that right now. I can feel you rolling your eyes as I said that. You're like, ooh, les baguettes, les cigarettes, Jean-Luc Godard. Oh, stop.
Collaborate and listen.
Withhold judgment until I've said my piece. It's a French film called J'ai de colère, j'ai tant... Give me 1 second. J'ai de la colère, j'ai du tempérament à l'intérieur. I know. I did take French in high school, so kind of fluent in all things Française. Practically a French citizen. Unlike me, though, I know a couple of you out there can't speak French. Couldn't be me. So its English translation is I've wrath, I've temper within. So that's what I'll be referring to it as from now on. For your sake, not mine. I could say j'ai de colère all day, no sweat.
She's lying.
The film I've Wrath, I've Temper Within, written and directed by Jean Raylan, is actually an adaptation of a book with the same title by Ian Green. So, if you are interested in book to movie, translations, what is that called? Adaptations, or accompaniments, you like to get, the broader story after watching a movie. It has that going for it. And there are actually additional books after this first one, so the story continues well past the film. Just throwing that out there if you're interested in literature. So,
Needle pulling thread.
what's this all about, you big goofy girl? Make like a mama bird and spit it out, why don't you? I will! What did I write? The film centers on our unlawful hero, our pious guardian, I made up another one. What else did I say? Our unlikely protagonist, a woman named Nicole Louise Padut. She's the oldest of 3 children in early 1910s France, who is unexpectedly thrust into the position of main breadwinner for her family when her father gambles away most of their family's long dwindling fortune, then puts the rest in bad investment, and then dies. Typical men, am I right? Cause a problem, then freaking bounce and not stick around to fix it. Like, disgusting! As we know, the early 20th century was known for, big pushes in modernization, progressive ideals. So I know what you're thinking. This movie takes place in France, probably Paris. There were a lot more opportunities for women. Not as extensive or competitively paid as the men, but still. And to that I say, you're right. However, this movie doesn't take place in Paris. It takes place in a rural town in the Auvergne region of France. Paris comes later, not in the movie, in the books. Read the books. Like I said, there's more story to be told here. Go away! Oh, I got it. Gross. It's on my finger. Ew. Like a pair of left-handed scissors, Nicole Louise is not all right. Naturally, Nicole Louise struggles to find work that's going to provide for her entire family. The next oldest is her brother, and he's mentally disturbed. He can't work. And Nicole Louise's mother forbids their youngest, her sister, from working, which, I'm not going to fault her for that. I'm not going to say, boo, screw the child labor laws, my dude. So Nicole Louise turns to the one profession that can always be counted on to turn a pretty penny, and that is prostitution. Hey. I don't know why I'm let's not clap for that. It's not in this case. It's not happy. But Nicole Louise isn't prostituting herself. She develops a business of prostituting out other young girls. So, girl boss of the century, am I right? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be making jokes about that. This is how I deal with heavy topics. You should see me at a funeral. I kill. That's why there's a funeral. script, God! Anyways, business is good, and Nicole Louise is able to pull her family from the trenches of bankruptcy that their father left them in. So can I get a W in the chat, my bros? But the real core of the movie is the emotional turmoil that beats upon the conscience of Nicole Louise with every new decision that she makes. It's literally... she's such a sad boy character.
And I'm
Deeply depressed.
Nicole Louise is forced to play the role of hardened businesswoman, crooked criminal, creature of the night, which goes against everything that her Catholic upbringing taught her. She tells herself that, you know, she's providing a good place for the girls and she's treating them better than any of the other Johns would. However, she can't forget the knowledge that she's taking these underprivileged women, these women who need the most true aid in the world, and using them to buoy her own family standing. And it tears her apart. But as the years go by, she manages to assuage her guilt well enough to continue on with her life and just push it all down. So, you know, sometimes you have to gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss yourself. That is, of course, until who does the cat dragon, fresh from the woodwork, slipping and sliding her way into Nicole Louise's path? Well, that'd be the elusively seductive, mysteriously dangerous Celine de Trustalt. Let me tell you, Celine is Jessica Rabbit. Celine is Phyllis Dietrichson. Celine is Amy Doon, okay? She's Selena Kyle. She's everything. Diametrically opposed, yet diametrically attracted to each other. It's as if Celine can peer into Nicole Louise's mind and offer acceptance for all of the torturous culpability that Nicole Louise is stuffed down like a Thanksgiving Day turkey. And as such, they form a deeply intense, romantic, yet guilt-filled relationship, at least guilt-filled on Nicole Louise's part, because yet again, her Catholic upbringing damns her actions, in this case, homosexuality. Rock on! To complicate matters further, Nicole Louise believes that Celine is merely seducing her to gain access to her family's wealth. However, she pushes those thoughts aside, A, because she feels if that is what Celine is doing, then this is her punishment from God, and it's what she deserves, which is so sad. And B, she doesn't care because she can't stand the thought of losing Celine. Because con woman or not, at least she's finally been able to love and be loved in the way that she's always wanted. And it's so sad! It's a stunningly performed and executed film. I feel like every other scene I was either on the brink of tears or just like gleeful madness, you know, just by how wonderfully everything is done. There's no true hero, there's no true villain other than just like the inevitable suffering of life. And honestly, what's a bigger villain than that? I'll tell you. Pete and Grace from Scream Queens. Okay, the world has moved on from Scream Queens, but I have not. You know what? This wasn't even planned. Look at that. I cut this out yesterday. Never in my life have I hated an innocuous duo more. They were menaces. They were a terror. Okay, Leah and Michelle might have been killing people, but they were killing the vibe. And what's worse, a few fictional characters dying, or me, a real person, being spiritually murdered by the terror that was Pete and Grace on the screen.
Actually, I just want a regular coffee. Those white girl pumpkin spice lattes annoy me.
I'm in love. Death to all of them.
I don't know where that came from. This is what happens when I can't talk about other shows. I make references to equally as insane shows. back to the prompt. You need to find things in your life that you can give time for and really dive into. And I think that I've Wrath, I've Temper Within is one of those things. It's one of those movies. You know, it stopped me in my tracks. It flashed its lights and asked for license and registration. It made me forget about everything else that was happening in the world. I just wanted to hone in on this movie and why it affected me so much. And like, that's just huge props to everybody involved in this. You know, there's so much going on in the world that it's hard for something to really grab you and make you stop and want to tune everything else out. And that's what this movie did for me. It really forces you to analyze it. You can't just tack it as like righteous or wrong and move on. These characters are made to be difficult to sift through and define one hot topic element to discuss about them. You have to discuss it all. And maybe that's why it's not as popular. Maybe it's just like a marketability thing. It is a smaller movie. But, you know, that's why I'm here. To change all of that. Get the word out. I've Wrath makes you want to spend 2 hours in the shower, hiking up your water bill, just like poring over every detail as to why Nicole Louise still sticks to her, you know, strict Catholic woman of God ways, when those are the very things that are keeping her from being able to stomach her decisions and like live a somewhat content life. She doesn't deserve the hate she pours on herself. Yet, on the other hand, she has committed some truly reprehensible acts. I mean, she has killed, she's ruined, she's ravaged. She preys upon the weak. She preys upon her fellow man and woman. I mean, in a way, she kind of does deserve the guilt that she lays upon herself. But we don't want her to feel that way. We don't think that she deserves it because, damn it, she's human. She's not a character. She's a real person to me, you know? And she doesn't deserve it. And unfortunately, real people are not so easy to distill down into good and bad. And this film showcases that so well. Oscar Wilde said it best when he said, "It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious." And these actors and these characters are charming as hell. They toe the line of these deeply troubled, deeply complex characters beautifully. Did you hear that? There's a scene where Celine, who could very easily be labeled as a morally bad, toxic character, but it doesn't matter because I love her. She kind of kills Nicole Louise's priest. Oof. But for in her mind, deluding Nicole Louise into believing that she deserves this torment that she feels as atonement for her sins. "How can you humiliate yourself like this?" she asks Nicole Louise in the confessional booth. "Can't you see how unworthy he is?" He being the priest, but on a deeper level, a God who has stipulations for his acceptance and love. Like, and it's very easy to say that killing innocent people is bad, and I'm not going to argue with you on that. It is bad. That is a very true statement. However, we knew it was coming. In Celine's eyes, the priest is not an innocent man. In her eyes, he's damning Nicole Louise's soul. Whether Celine believes in the afterlife or not, Nicole Louise does. And so, in Celine's mind, he's causing her not only suffering in this life, but eternal suffering. And what could be a worse crime to commit than that? Celine sees herself as Nicole Louise's dark guardian, someone to dispel these illusions about God and the life that Nicole Louise has. Is murder a step too far to avenge the transgressions made against your lover? Sure. Do you feel as a viewer that she's in the wrong though? No. Or maybe you do. Maybe I'm speaking for you here. Maybe you disagree with me. And hey, we can have a chat about it. We'll discuss it further. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm getting at here? This movie grabs you by the shoulders and it shakes you until your head is dizzy with just moral quandaries about the story and the themes of the film itself. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, Autumn, this sounds like a trip down Depression Lane. Let me just go mix up a nice Zoloft Lexapro cocktail and get it going.
Take 25 of these a day for the rest of your life.
And you wouldn't be wrong. That is what it sounds like. However, I'm here to tell you, it's not. Jean Reno manages to infuse moments of dark levity into the script that lighten the overall emotional burden of the movie, but then also go on to make those dark, gloomy bits all the more heart-aching and affecting to watch because you have the contrast, there's a scene where Celine comes to Nicole Louise's house to apologize to her for hitting her, which, ooh, not good. As I said, she's not a saintly character. She's not wholesome. And yeah, Nicole Louise responds by pushing her entire guest bed, which was Celine's bed, out the window, nearly crushing Celine. Wood splinters into a million pieces, and it's hilarious. It might not sound like that, especially given the context when I'm describing it. But let me tell you, when that scene happened, I was hooting and hollering in this little apartment by myself, okay? No words exchanged between the two, just the most absurd, over-the-top response that you could have. And it's justified, and it's funny, and it's grim, and brilliant, okay? Everything is just the perfect amount of screwed to shit. Just absolute brilliant fuckery all across the board. And I haven't even begun to fork my way through all the rich, creamy layers of this film. This is one of those 50-layer cakes that you see on Baking Boss or whatever, okay? And I'm not even talking about just from a writing and story perspective here. The music, operatic. It's giving Theatre des Vampires. More French for you. The cinematography, it's giving Atlantic Ocean because it's so fluid and enveloping. The set design and costumes, in a word, sumptuous. I could feast upon lookbooks of this film for years. Forget about grocery shopping. It's too expensive anyways. All I'm consuming from here on out is 20th century wallpaper, velvet curtains, and embroidered pillows. It is a 7-course meal with none of Tyler's bullshit.
Shit? Would you like some shit?
Watch the menu on HBO Max after you watch this, of course. Anyways, the film ends with Nicole Louise and Celine devoting themselves to each other in Nicole Louise's church, signifying Nicole Louise's turn away from the church and to Celine to be her guiding light, accepting her dark gift, if you will. And again, you want so badly for this to happen because, God, are they just the best fucked up power couple out there? But also, you kind of don't want it to happen because Nicole Louise, girl, once she does this, there's no going back for her. And you don't know if you can trust Celine because She's not forthright about anything in her life. She's about as stable as Mount Vesuvius in the year 79 AD, and she's just always getting into some messy shit, you know? But you cheer when Nicole Louise grabs Celine's cheek and goes in for the kiss, like, oh, yes! So yeah, they essentially get married in this church, and it's awesome. And this other priest comes up and he gets his head punched in, and it's like, what? Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. So that's what happened in Jolene went on and everybody knew what was going on. Wait a second. Looks like you just got got. Hey, Brett. Suck it. Loser. You thought I'd give up with some light bullying? Nerd. You thought peer pressure could match the fiery hot intensity of pure insanity? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Bitch. How does it feel? How does it feel to be roped in just for me to come in like the hand of fate and cut the lifeline of normal conversation? Huh? You thought. Shall I call you a funny fowl or a silly goose? Which do you prefer? Were you just scouring the internet? Were you looking where you could stream this film? It doesn't exist. I made it up. It was all interview. All of those plot points, interview. Quotes, interview. Themes and tone, interview. It's all interview. Bitch. Oh my god, my name is Brett, and I wish my sister would stop talking about things she's passionate about. Telling me to stop talking about my favorite show. Screw you. I'll stop talking about it when I damn well feel like it. Can't stop me, nerd.
Fuck you, man.
Oh.
Wait, stop accepting it. Stop it. Are you fucking insane?
Stop. I'm charging.
No. No. See?
And now, a word from our sponsor. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I was too busy reading this French dictionary to stimulate my mind. Je suis une machine à laver. It's just one of the many things I do now, along with escargot tastings, marble sculpting classes, and developing a real-life McDonald's atomizer as seen in Spy Kids 2: Island of Lost Dreams. How did I achieve such brain-wrinkling expertise and become one of the intelligentsia? I watch Interview with a Vampire on AMC+. Ever since this show aired, I've been able to complete my 40-hour work week in just 27 minutes. I've mastered the violin and I no longer need to relieve myself. I'm using so much brain power, my body uses every last bit of energy from the food that I consume. I simply cannot produce waste anymore. I'm just on this toilet for fun. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, but Autumn, this all sounds so wonderful. How could it possibly be true? Well, there's only one way to find out. Take the step to a more fulfilled life. Watch Interview with the Vampire on AMC Plus now.
You just have to nod your beautiful head and say yes.
So that was something. Yeah. I am expecting a full and severe shunning from all of my family and friends. To the two people who are potentially maybe still here by the end of this, thanks so much for staying tuned. Hope you had a good time. I sure did. I look forward to the rest of you pounding down my door with pitchforks and torches. And, oh, I give it about 22 hours. Yeah. C'est la vie. Have a good day. Peace, bros.